Which electron dot formula correctly represents a hydroxide ion? Well, we know that hydrogen normally has 1. And we know that oxygen normally has 6. What will happen is that this electron will be shared here in order to make oxygen think that it has a pair here, and hydrogen will think that it has a pair here. That leaves one empty hole, which is filled by another electron which comes from somewhere else to give hydroxide its negative charge. If we look for that over here, we find it right here. It's just flipped backwards. What is the gram formula mass of NH4Cl? This is straightforward enough. N, we look on the periodic table, is 14.007. H is 1.008. We have to multiply that by 4, multiply N by 1, and Cl find my periodic table, 35.453 times 1. If we multiply all these out and then add them up, which I'm going to do on my calculator rather than on paper here, I end up with 53.49 grams per mole. Round that to 3 figures and I get 53.5. Number 23, what is the molar mass of KBr? Well, the molar mass for K from the periodic table is 39.098. The molar mass for Br is 79.904. (119.002) grams per mole. That's the correct answer. What is the total mass of iron in 1 mole of iron 3 oxide? Well, all we have to do is count how many moles of iron there are in a mole of this substance. There are 2 of them. There are 2 iron atoms, so there are 2 moles of iron. So 1 mole of Fe2O3 times 2 moles of Fe for every mole of Fe2O3. And I'm doing this rigorously. You would probably leave this step out and just multiply the mass of Fe2O3 or Fe2, pardon me, by 2. Fe is 55.945. 55.945 grams of Fe per mole of Fe. 2 times 55.945 is 112 grams. What is the total mass in grams of 0.75 moles of SO2? 75 moles SO2 times the molar mass of SO2. S is about 32. O is about 16 times 2, which is about 32. So the molar mass of SO2 is 64 grams of SO2 per mole of SO2. 0.75 times 64 is 48 grams. So that's the answer. How many hydrogen atoms are there in 7.3 moles of ethanol? So our basis is 7.3 moles of ethanol. We look at the formula and count the hydrogens. There are 5 here and 1 here, so there's 6. So there are 6 atoms per mole. I should say 6 moles of H atoms per mole of ethanol. And then we're going to use Avogadro's number to convert between moles of atoms and actual atoms. 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms per mole of atoms. Be sure to use your exponent button when you do this. On my calculator, I would do 7.3 times 6 hydrogens per mole of ethanol times 6.02, and I would use this exponent key right here, 23. You can see the way it displays up here, 23. When I hit the equal sign, I get 2.6, and then I get 25 up here. That means times 10 to the 25th power. So 2.636 times 10 to the 25th power. If I round it, I get 2.64. Round to 3 figures like I was given up here. So 2.64 times 10 to the 25th is the correct answer. How many moles are there in 8.5 molecules of sodium sulfate? Well, we don't really care what it is. We just know that we have a whole bunch of molecules and we want to calculate how many moles there are. Well, that's Avogadro's number again. 8.50 times 10 to the 24th molecules, and I'm going to divide that by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules per mole. Per mole of what? Sodium sulfate? Sure. Really per mole of anything. Go back to my calculator. I have 8.50 exponent 24 divided by, put this where you can see it, 6.02 exponent 23. My answer is 14. 14.1.